the way that you want your day to go.
Well, I
Mm.
really screwed up this one. I forgot to press the record button. I was like, so all those people that couldn't make it are going to get quite a surprise, but we'll get a little bit of it. So, Artie, I hope those tips helped you out there. And
Yep,
yeah, priorities, right? And when you,
Well, can I
uh,
say something?
absolutely.
yes,
I just learned not to be too rigid because the first time when Richard and I were trying to do it, I was like, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that, so it's not perfect. And you know what? It's fine.
Yeah, I would say the
Like
same, baby.
do the best you can. You know,
So
yeah,
do what you could.
cool. And I was trying to sort of whatever I couldn't get done in the morning, I was like, right, okay, I'll do that
Yeah.
maybe in the afternoon or evening. But so I know, Rishad, you said it is okay to split it throughout the day.
yeah. Yeah, you can do it just as long as you commit to improving yourself and using the challenge as a guideline. Caroline did like 5 or 6 days of falling in love because she wanted to spend more time. A lot of people spend 3 or 4 days on gratitude. I spent, I think, because I was part of a retreat and all of that, I spent 9 days in awareness and stillness, which is one of the practices as well. And I combined it with gratitude. So even if it's in the moment where you say, what am I grateful for right now, right here, right now? Am I still or am I in the mind? And I want to talk about that as soon as we can, about incorporating the 21-day challenge into our lives, right? Because the 21-day challenge is a name that we gave to something that we should be practicing every day in our lives, right? So, Artie, if you need to go, you just go when you need to. So appreciate you
Yeah.
coming on the call. But yeah, just do it however you
Yeah,
can, as long
apologies.
as you.
Lovely to see you all, and thank you. I'll watch the recording. And thank
Yeah, okay, okay, yeah, sure,
and
okay.
congrats to
The
everyone
rest.
that's taken the challenge. It's awesome reading everything. Thank you.
Cool.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Maria, tell us briefly. Well, you've been sharing a lot, so but anything you want to add, Maria?
Not fun. I discovered three things about the challenge that helped me.
Yeah,
First is that it doesn't have to be all or nothing, because that's the way I was doing it. And I failed three times. And if it wasn't for Nusra putting this message saying I'm kind to myself and I do whatever I can, so I said I'm gonna do it baby steps, little at a time. But I think it's important to be accountable, to say I'm gonna do it every day, because if you leave a few days past, you get
yeah,
disappointed. I think that's what get me going. And then of course this group, how amazing everybody is. I mean, this is I told Rishad, I said I didn't know people like that existed.
that's
This
right.
non-judgmental, that doesn't, I've never seen it. So that helped so much too. But I think that's it. Just don't be too hard on yourself, but be accountable every day a little bit. Otherwise, you just give up.
That's great advice. That's great advice. Did I miss anyone? Zahira,
Can I
Zahira,
just say to Maria,
yes, Caroline,
I found Maria very inspiring because she said to me, I'm a very good student.
yeah,
And I was really struck by that because I thought to myself, I'm not a very good
yeah,
student.
yeah,
And just that labeling of myself and Maria's labeling of herself, how helpful or how hindering that can be. And it
mm,
was quite revelatory to Maria to say, I'm a good student, so I do everything I'm told to do. I'm a good student. And I'm like, well, okay, so what am I? I'm a bit rebellious. So what does that mean? You know, how is
yeah,
that helping me in my life, or how is it hindering me? It just struck me. And one day I just thought, well, maybe I'm going to be a good student today.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Well,
not
you
about being a
surprised me.
good student. I'm a good student because I have been studying all my life.
I know
How
you're
fed
an
up you are,
experienced student.
yeah, but it's how fed up you are from your own nonsense,
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what happened to me. I
Yeah, I think that's
fed up.
actually the two of you are on such similar journeys. It's not funny. So you're using different words, but I mean, Maria got to a point where she's like, I can't live like this anymore. I want to change. And then you had to bring that student out in you. Caroline, the same thing with you. And I mean, you've become an incredible student. I didn't see the side of you that I'm absolutely loving to witness and to be part of now. And instead of me inspiring you, you're inspiring me, which is incredible. And I wanted to also say to people that after you've improved yourself and you've realized your own sort of happiness, then people like Lizanne and Maria and those like Denise who share, and Andrea, who share on the group as an example, of course, in the wider, then we all have our families that we participate in, our communities, because once you've reached a certain point, it's now time to give back, right? Because a lot of people, they never transcend that I'm here to heal and I'm here to get better and I'm here to do my this session and that session. Yeah, great. But then a point comes where you say, all right, I've got this, let me share it. And that's what you're doing, Maria, in a way where you've gotten something and now you're sharing. It's okay, this is my experience. Maybe I'll share it, right? The same
Yeah.
with Caroline.
Coach
What?
gives me a pain in my neck as well. You have to push, push, push. It's not an easy thing, but I'm happy I'm doing it because this is the safe environment. I don't think I would have been doing it as fast as I did. So thank you. Thank you, first of all. Thank everybody else. But it's not easy. It's not as altruistic like you present. It takes courage, but it makes me better. It makes me feel better. But I cry for a couple of days and then I feel better. It's not easy. Anyway.
It's not easy. It's not easy at all. Ah, what work we do. It's incredible. So,
But it's not difficult.
No, it's not difficult. Thank you, Abdallah.
It's changing your patterns though. It's like that I'm on making the
Unfamiliar,
familiar, and it's just I googled it and it's just a shock to see how those patterns are so ingrained in us in our every moment of time, and just how we've got to change them in order to change our lives. If we want to change our lives, we've got to change our patterns. There's no choice.
Definitely. Yeah. I was talking about, Abdullah, what Maria was saying about rather than an altruistic, giving, there's like you almost have to be on somebody's case and on their heads as a coach, as I do, And so, but yeah, the challenge part, what's interesting is that the mind says, oh, this is going to be a nightmare. It's going to be so difficult. And a lot of people start the challenge and like, oh, this is too difficult, because there's a part of them that wants to remain the same, that learned helplessness. But as you get going, you're like, I love this. It's not difficult. It's actually easy. What was difficult is being a victim to life, right? And suffering life. And you realize, this is easy. That was hell. I was comparing myself to a few years ago, why they were cutting the end of the roast off. Yeah, I missed that, Lizanne. I didn't watch it. You want to tell us what that's about, Lizanne?
Well, I don't, excuse me. I don't know if others saw that one where it was a little video, and the son asked, "Why are you cutting the end of the roast off?" to the mom, and the mom said, "Because grandma always did it." And they got grandma on the call, and because great grandma always did it. And it was very interesting. It was very quick. Go look back on it, because in the end, that's what you're saying, Caroline and Maria. These patterns are so ingrained, and we don't even know why. We just keep doing it. The answer was, well, because they did it. The people before did it, because they did it, because they did it. And it was fascinating how we just do these things. And it's not very obvious, it is subtle. I hear you. Is it, how do you say it? Abdullah? Abdullah?
Yeah.
Abdullah. Yeah.
Abdullah. Okay. It's easy and it's not easy at the same time, but that's the beauty of it. It's that blend of what we do know and what we don't know. And I did want to say to the group, because this is my third time, the first time I did it, I couldn't even receive that gift that Coach gave. Remember, I kept preparing for the gift. I got to prepare to open it. I was done the challenge, and I wouldn't even allow myself to receive the gift. So, the first time,
the first time, like a Zen master now.
Well, the first time I was very rigid, and it sort of helped because I was very committed. And these other times, I am learning so much as well from all of you in a different way. I cannot put it into words. That's just, trust me, that if you try this even again, you will be fascinated in a different way.
Yeah, I totally.
And so.
If I can just clarify what I meant by it's not difficult.
Yes.
The process is not difficult. As you go, as you're on the journey, there's ups and downs, and like you have to deal with difficult things, and you got to look in yourself, and you got to see, all right, this is me and this is how I am, and maybe I don't like this, maybe I don't like that. But the process is not difficult. It's like the day-to-day of it. You know, you do your little exercise in the morning. It's not difficult. I mean, I can't remember who it was that was asking earlier about how can you fit
Artie.
it in, how do you fit it into
Yeah.
your day. I mean, for me, I've had this kind. I've been every morning. I've been doing a 15-minute HIT exercise routine that I've kind of committed to, and I said, well, look, this is something that I've done for so long or whatever, and it's just part of my morning routine. Let me just substitute it out, and I'm going to do these exercises.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like 10 minutes to do the breathing, and 5 minutes to do the Tibetan things and whatnot. And it's 5-10 minutes longer, but you substitute something else that you're already doing anyway, and then you fill it in with something else. Well, at least that worked for me. So it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was actually, in a way, it was actually easier. It was much easier to do breathing and these kind of relatively relaxed exercises than it was to do my horrible 15-minute HIT sweat sesh. So yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. Zaira, I keep on coming back to you, but you don't want to talk. Tell me, Zaira.
Yeah, hi. I actually fell off on
Okay.
day 4.
You fell off. Are you
And
still in the bottom of the canyon?
Yeah, and I'm still trying to get back on.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I'm just giving myself courage because right now I am feeling a bit like a victim again.
Okay.
And yeah, so I'm just giving myself a bit more. Maybe I need a pep, a push. I don't know what it is.
I think
yeah.
you should start at day 1 today, not any other time, but right now. It's simple. There's nothing to analyze. There's nothing to just say, I start day 1 now. What can stop you?
Okay, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, just
I'm
start.
going to
And
start
you
right
fall off.
now.
If you don't do tomorrow, it's perfectly fine. But just start now. That's the secret of the ego mind. The ego mind wants to ask you many questions, like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I need space. I need to forgive myself. Why can't I do all this kind of stuff? So is what the Zen masters always teach is that now is the only time. So you're like, okay, I'm not doing the gratitude. I'm not doing the 21-day challenge. Okay, I'm doing it now. What are you doing? Gratitude. Finished. There's never, because what the ego mind wants you to do is to talk about every day that passed and how long it's been. Like Maria said, if you don't keep yourself accountable, then your ego mind opens up and goes, well, you haven't done 2 days and the whole group's already on day 28.
Exactly.
You're going to look like an idiot now, and you're going to start
I'm already
all the
feeling
time.
like a fool.
Right, which is you. Nobody else is thinking that way.
Yeah.
Caroline, yes.
Yeah.
What I thought was interesting when we spoke was about motivation. About motivation to start the or change anything really. And we talked about that most people have something that happens to them and they have no choice.
Right.
So they're extremely motivated. That's most people who are doing it. Whereas some people like me have got a very comfortable life and I have that choice. I've got that relative comfort to go back and maybe not make those changes. I just spoke to my friend this morning who isn't into this stuff, but she did it because she had no choice. And she said, we talked about it because she was having a panic attack and she couldn't cope with life. And she just had to make the changes because she wasn't living. So it's just that motivation really, and making the decision, which is like, decision is like cutting, isn't it? Cutting something. So you don't have a choice. And just thinking, well, yes, actually, why am I motivated? Why do I want to make this? But that motivation has got to be strong enough, even when we're in our comfort zone, to push us through doing it, I think. That's for me anyway.
That's talking from direct experience, because let me tell you what, Caroline crawled her way to motivation. So yeah. And Zara, before you give yourself a hard time, you've actually finished the challenge completely. So this is just extra time. Don't do it then. Don't make it into a thing. Same with my wife. My wife was like, oh, I can't. I said, but you live this every day, right? So if it's going to be the other chatter in your mind going, you're not good enough and you can't do the challenge, take the challenge and chuck it in the bin. There's absolutely nothing wrong with how you're living now. The challenge is not going to be, oh, you're living in lack and now you're going to be this incredible new creature because you've done the challenge. What is in the challenge is how to engage with life with gratitude, stillness, presence, making things unfamiliar and familiar, falling in love with life. And you've done all of that for 2 years. So Zara, I think if you want to do the challenge, you can, but your last 2 years have been your challenge and you've come out there. Lizanne, you've been on this journey for as long as Zaira has. So you could tell me, you could say if I'm making stuff up, trying to be a nice guy. I'm never a nice guy, as you know. Maria knows. Is that
No,
thumbs up?
I agree. I wouldn't. It feels like there's something about you got to day 4, and that's okay. And yet, it's you're probably doing it more every day than you even realize.
Exactly.
So maybe focus on that instead of doing the challenge. Why don't you sit back and go, oh yeah, I'm doing that. Oh yeah, I'm doing that there, and notice where you've made the changes. Maybe that's your challenge.
Right. So the challenge teaches us to break patterns, and the pattern is telling you, your pattern is telling you, look, you never do anything and you never stick to anything. You got to break that pattern. And precisely what Lizanne is saying, go to the opposite end pattern, go, well, I actually do a lot of things. I did this and I did that. So the whole idea is to break those patterns. You don't have to become the person that everybody else is, right? So there's something that became profoundly apparent to me on this time away, and I had an incredible time. Was incredible time. Not that I was surfing and skiing and eating fancy meals. I was in the bush, but the profound revelations about our journeys together. Because at some level, every one of you is a mirror to me, and as I am a mirror to you, right? Because it's these joint kind of journeys. Is that something that I heard before the Zen masters talk about, which is how you engage with this moment. And I never understood that. Like, being present, they say being present. So there was always the split inside of me. You had like the Zen Buddhist teaching, which was this moment, the stillness, the disassociation from mind, from thoughts. And on the other hand, you had the sort of the NLP type of dialogue, or you could say Tony Robbins and the whole motivation kind of thing, positive thinking and being happy and all the rest of it, right? And they're two different types of things, but they both unite together. So in other words, hey, come on, guys, you're chatting on your own now. I can see everybody's concerned about Zahira. It's okay. Lizanne and Andrea and Denise, that's good. So yeah, what does it mean to engage with this moment? What does that mean? So for most of it, it means to be present, right? So you're present in this moment, and you're saying, Paolo, did you want to say something? Oh, go ahead.
Yes, you're not dwelling on the past and you're not thinking what you're going to do next. You're actually focused on what's happening before you.
Right. So you're engaged with what's happening before you. That's great. Now, what is happening before you was the next step that came to me through my revelation, or through my experience, was that this moment has two ways of being interpreted. Right. One is, oh, I should get to my work and play my bells, and that's the moment, right? Or this moment, it'd be like, oh my God, these bells are fantastic. They're amazing. Look what they're made of, right? So am I engaged in the moment? On both sides, I'm entirely engaged. There's a difference now. This is the next level. So of course, the first level, get out of mind, get out of body, get out of feelings, get out of interpretations, get out of past and future. You're here entirely. But this is called the generous present moment, because it lasts an eternity. So if you're present right now in this moment, how do you choose to engage in this moment? So the level of your awareness and how far you've progressed on the path within yourself is defined by whether you're hostile or you're welcoming to this moment, and this moment only. This is your gauge of your progress. How am I engaging this moment? So if you're engaging this moment, and now we're talking another level up from where we were before. Previous level was be quiet, get out of your head. Now you're here, right? What do you do with this moment? What is your relationship with this moment? Is it hostile or is it familiar, right? So examples. Let me show you non-theoretical examples. If you're thinking they're going, oh, you know, I want to shoot that guy in the head, he screwed up my. Now you say, no, I'll be in the present moment. So now you're here. So you're resisting how you were feeling, and you came back to the present moment, right? What you do with this moment, you can either be still, or you can have your mind engage on that thought. That's the moment. Now, if you're trying to go from here to work, right? So you're rushing off from here, and you're saying, I've got to get to work at 7:30. It's now 7:15, and you're getting things out of the way, and you're getting to work because you're not in the moment. You are hostile to this moment. Why? Because you're trying to get there. At 7:30, I got to be at work. So from 7:15 to 7:30, I am at war with this moment. You got to get this. This is so profound, right? How are you engaging with this moment? So I'm rushing out the door because I need a coffee, and the client's coming at 9 this morning, and my daughter goes, hug. I'm like, really? Now? What am I doing? I'm hostile with this moment, right? Because the moment is saying, that's what you got. Even though my mind is saying, you got to get your coffee, you got to be home. So what do? You do the opposite, and you go, honey, come here. And I'll stay with her, make my coffee cold, make my client late. Because those things. Now, does it mean that the coffee's going to get cold and the client's going to be late? No. This is the assumption that is made from those moments, correct? We're saying, honey, I can't hug you now because my coffee's going to get cold, and I'm going to be late for my client. But what happened is my client ran a little late, and my wife said, look, don't worry about going out. Stay at home and make your coffee. So, because I changed the way I engage with this moment. So how you engage with each moment, whether you are hostile to it, and I'm not talking I'm not talking about minute by minute or day by day or event after event, between clients, between this. It's that now, here, how are you with this moment? Are you at ease? Now, if you look at your body carefully, this all came to me during this time. Because I went on my own journey. I was like, man, all these clients getting so far ahead, I'm getting left behind. So I've got to do my own work, right? So that's what I did. And so then I said, look at your body. And what thoughts are you processing right now? And I felt and I went, I'm hostile to this moment. You know why? Because I'm thinking about that. I'm feeling this and I'm feeling that. And that's not what I want to be. What I want to be is at ease with this moment. I want to be thinking about the beauty of this moment. And I want my body to be releasing into this moment. Right? Because you know how you're like, oh yeah, and what were you doing there? Did you even have a glass of water? Did you have a sip of water? Did you even process that? There were 2 moments here that you made one, right? Or you're getting off to school, rushing off, taking the kids to school, and you're like, you missed the entire moments, which means that those moments you became hostile to. This is another level for you guys, right? And some of you would find this. What's going on in Andrea's house? It's like, is it a show house or something? Okay. I don't know. I'm like, what? See, the moment, right? The moment presented itself, so we're going to have to be in Andrea's apartment. Guys, does this make sense? Your progress in yourself is how you are to this precise moment. And I'll finish it off with the Zen master saying. So the Zen master, with the student was with the Zen master, and they were sitting in a lovely garden. Lizanne, you may enjoy the story if you get it. So the student said to the master, they were both sitting in Zazen. The student said, opened his eyes and said, Master, tell me, can I enter into the present moment from the waterfall? Because I can hear the waterfall, right? So the Zen master said, enter from the waterfall. And then he closed his eyes, and then the student said, Master, if I didn't mention the waterfall, should I be entering this moment in the present moment from the waterfall or from the garden? The Zen master said, from the garden. So what the Zen master is saying, it doesn't matter what the hell you're doing or where you are, just enter into the now. But the mind is like, well, I'll relax when I got my cup of coffee. Finally I can relax, Or when the kids are gone to school and you get on the couch and you're like, that kind of stuff. That's not you're hostile to many, many moments, right? Because the moment you lie down on the couch, the phone rings, right? Oh, your daughter's not feeling well. Can you come pick her up? What the hell, right? Because now you're engaged with hostility in this moment. So if you can break life down to moments, then you've got to say, Am I hostile or am I at ease with this moment? So if you're at ease at this moment right now and you're about to have the sip of water, you pause and you're like, oh, this is a sip of water. This is what it calls to be single-minded, right? Single-minded. So not multiple tasking. You don't drink water while you're talking on the phone. You don't talk while you're moving your hands. These are so profound observations in what we do in the challenge as well. Zaira and Abdullah, you guys were good indications of when you're in the bath, right? When you're rubbing the soap on your hands and you're lathering your body. I remember I've been bathing with the same soap for years. I never knew what it smelled like. I'd be like, and I'm thinking about this guy and that guy and the rest of it. And I did this practice, like, this is profound. Look at the smell. And I'm feeling the texture in my hands. I'm like, where have I been all my life? So we were coming back from the airport. There's two beautiful orange trees in the intersection at the airport on the N2. And I said to my daughters and my wife, I said, look at those amazing trees. And said, we haven't noticed them. We drive past them almost every single day. So what's going on, right? That's the engaging in that moment. Because when you're in the car, you're getting to school, you're getting to the airport. But these moments, you're hostile with them. Because if you're not, then if the opposite to being hostile with the moment is to be friendly and accepting and aware and engaged with this moment. Does that make sense, guys? Anybody want to add anything to that or ask any questions around that?
Well, I was just thinking that I have most of my life had severe road rage.
Road rage.
Not severe, but like I will shout and swear and go bonkers and well, yeah, okay, maybe it is severe.
Yeah, that's pretty severe.
But yeah, since doing this challenge and being a little bit in the moment and kind of being more aware, now every time a car pulls out in front of me or does something funky or whatever, I'm like, oh wow, that's a nice reminder to be present.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's been so cool.
Look at
like
that.
honestly, like I mean, I've also almost crashed the car 3 times.
Yeah.
But it's like each time it's like, oh yeah, that's a reminder. Just come back to being conscious of what you're doing.
That's
because you're
beautiful.
in the car and you're thinking about this and you want to message that one or whatever, and then boom, so that's been fun. And now it's like a game. Now somebody like pulls out in front of me and I'm like, oh,
right.
remember?
So I love what you did there. It's the same thing Lizanne suggested that Zaira does, is that turn the dialogue around. So instead of you saying, oh, I shouldn't get upset at people in the car, you turn that around and you say, well, that will remind me to return to the present moment. And that's a very powerful way. I think my relationship with time, yes, has an element of fear. That's a good point, Caroline, because we all do. We're afraid of running out of time. We're afraid of losing time. So, Abdullah, yes, whatever dialogue you can change, you change, right? Instead of you resisting, because the ego mind was to go, you have to stop doing that. Zaira, I need to get back on the challenge. That's resistance to this moment, because in this moment, you're not on the challenge. So instead, you say, I'm not doing the challenge this moment. I like it, but the next moment, I might just do the challenge. Why coaches meditate on death? Right. And you contributed a lot to the call on Liz's call, because they don't talk about death, right? I don't know if you were on the call where I said, let's have 2 minutes silence for your death. Were you on that call, Lizanne? It was quite hilarious. Everybody was in stitches because it was a very beautiful and most profound interaction with death. I think it's very, very beautiful. Yeah, so if you know that you're about to die and you're certain about your death tomorrow, you'd be the happiest person in the world. Those people that know that they're going to die are the happiest, cheeriest people you can find. As major, obviously, those people in severe pain and disabilities and all the rest of them are excluded in what I'm saying. But those people that have said, I've got 3 months to live, the doctors, and they have an engagement conversation with you, there is no ego. They were like, but you're so beautiful. You're such a lovely person. And you're like, wow, you're so sweet. It's a pity you're going to die. I need more friends like you. It's precisely that they're so nice and sweet is because they're going to die, right? Because they don't have any competition. Oh, you know what? I need to be sharper than her and prettier than her and show her this. Or the guy, I say, well, I need to have richer. I won't tell him my strategy for making $1 million because he's going to be dead anyway. So you might as well be a nice guy, right? What's the point being a prick, right, Abdullah? You're the only guy here, so I can.
I was actually wondering about that, like why there's like
That's how it is.
all women.
That's precisely my point. How many women are concerned about improving? Men rather just be. What men do is they blame other people. Who is this fucking guy anyway? I'm recording this. I shouldn't swear. Lizanne, yes.
So I feel the meditating on the death is a parallel to I've had enough. When you get to that place, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. It's a similar line to I got nothing to lose. if I'm going to die tomorrow, just do it today. So it gives you this freedom in a way, again, that is just so refreshing. And by the way, there's no such thing as multitasking. The brain actually cannot. We are fooling ourselves. And I cannot say your name, and I love your poetry, Abdullah.
Call him Mr. Dutton. You can see his last name.
Mr. Dutton.
Yeah.
Mr. Dutton. Yeah. You touched my heart so much with your shares, and I just wanted to thank you.
Yeah.
And yet keep that sense of we don't have to give up who we are to be who we are, and yet you kind of do too. It's a very
trust me, he does need to give up who he is. I hope your mom's not around. I'm just joking.
No, don't listen to the coach. Listen to me.
Honestly,
now I'm saying I used to be so not afraid of that man, but like what would I say? It was more like, really? Kind of, Caroline, you're not going to tell me what to do. And then I did it. So
you were just saying that you thank me for my shares and stuff, but I mean, I would never have shared any of that stuff. And I had written things at the beginning, and I didn't share them until I saw other people sharing their stuff. So thanks to everyone, it's and I think I even said, like, you guys have given me the courage, so thank you for that.
Well, it's the men. I think I shared at one point a little note, like I was in tears. There was another Rishad. So it doesn't matter. I just know the moment. And is that okay that I can feel a moment in the past?
Yeah, of course you can.
Because that was like that moment. I can't even know I'm a woman. How much courage it takes for the men to be so vulnerable. I mean, my brothers were my guides growing up because they were the closest to me in age. 5 people, but 2 older sisters, 2 brothers next to me, and I am just in awe.
That's beautiful. Caroline says, I had heart arrhythmia a couple of weeks ago. When it stopped, the very fast beating, I wondered how long it would take for me to die. I was so calm, nothing mattered. Yeah, that was really profound what you said, is that you were saying, okay, well, how long does it take before I die? Which was, oh, who's that cute little angel there? Little Abdullah. Hello. You always wonder if they think we're weird, or do we think that he's weird? He's like looking at us like, you're a bunch of weirdos. Hello, look at all the ladies. Don't connect with me. So Lizanne, yeah, this thing you say, that meditating on death, there's another more encompassing meditation that we spoke about, which is impermanence, right? So the Buddhist practice, or you could say the ancient practice, was to meditate on impermanence, which means not to meditate means. Does anybody know what meditate means? What does word meditate mean? Meditate means to become familiar with. That's what meditation means. So when you're sitting there in your own place of stillness, watching your thoughts and feelings and perceptions, you're becoming familiar with yourself, which is profound. Meditation is not, Zen practice or Buddhist meditation or any practices. Oh, so that's what I'm like. Oh, so that's what rattles me up. So that's why I feel like this. This is that's getting to know yourself. So when you meditate on impermanence, a very powerful practice, and it will freak you out more so than death, which is on the impermanence of everything in your life. Because when you're dead, it doesn't really matter. But when you meditate on the impermanence, which is a very powerful practice that I did and which stirred my insides, outside up, right? Everything, everything that you see around you will no longer be there. Is this a fantasy? No, it's a fact. What our brains do is they pretend like this moment and tomorrow is going to be the same as today. But the reality is it's all going to change. And it's a tough lesson to learn that all the loved ones that you have, and your health, and your life, and your possessions, and your problems, and the tree, and the mountains, and the buildings, and the sky, and the stars will all vanish. Everything that is born will die, right? That's the reality. So yeah, it's very powerful and very. The reason you do it is not to freak yourself out. Is because it's a stepping stone to life hitting you against the wall. Because if life really loves you, it bangs you against the head wall, and you're upside down, hanging there like blood hanging out of you, and you're like, okay, listen, I want another chance. I want to come back, and then you'll become this optimistic, happy, confident person, healing the world. Until then, you're a grouchy bastard, as I was, complaining about everything, right? But then, if you do the practice of meditating and contemplating, hey, I'm not going to be here soon. There's one thing that I want to share with you guys. There's such resistance, right? And some of us know about it and some of us don't, to judgment from people. They will not come on the group and say, guys, I can't do the challenge. Could you help me? There's such great resistance. Now, I always wonder, and I'm always puzzled because I was like that. But I don't get it because I've become so different to that. That could it be that this person who's you can go mad meditating on the flame. So be careful with that, right, Lizanne? It's a practice that is really dangerous, but can be done really well on the flame. Because I know I almost didn't come back to have this conversation after meditating on the flame. On the flame, if you look at the flame and you look at it all the time, you can go nuts. Okay. So that's why I've never been normal ever since, Lizanne. So what was I saying, Lizanne? You keep on distracting me, Lizanne. What was I saying? I forgot. Zahira, you're an attentive listener. What was I saying, Zahira? Zahira, are you falling asleep as well? I was saying we fear judgment. I'll remember since you guys are. We fear judgment so much. But what is it in us that some random person in Northern America who you've never met before, or some guy in Mauritius is going to come on the call and say, you useless person, you didn't finish 21-day challenge? Like, what kind of an idiot are you? I mean, what makes us believe that that's the response we're going to get, right? Maria, for you to show a picture of your nails, right? That took tremendous courage. But then you do it and you're like, what's the big deal, right? Right? But in the beginning, you're like, oh, no, the people will see my nails. And then what will happen? I don't know, they won't like me anymore, right? The mind concocts all these things. The worst part is grown men, grown women buy into this and they're like, no, I think I won't tell anybody that I fell off the challenge or that I've got problems. Go ahead, Maria. Maria, go ahead. You had your speaker on, your mic on, Maria. Yeah, no, you have to speak. It's an order.
I forgot what I wanted to say. No, it's
no, about your nails, right? You put your picture on and you put this photo on. You
no,
always
because for me,
right.
Like putting this video of myself was one of the most difficult things I've done. Because, but I remembered from something you said that I used to play in front of 300 people when I was 19, 20. And now I cannot even face myself in a picture, in a photograph. I don't recognize myself. So I said to myself, what is going to happen? You have to start getting out of this. And that's why the challenge was excellent, because the people are excellent. They made me feel safe. So yeah, that was what. And then after eyeshadow and nail varnish was easy. So then
you see, when you just overcome that mind and you say, no, I'm just going to post. You know what, guys? I'm feeling terrible today. I'm going to do the challenge. Can you guys help me? Right? And then instead of you finding out, like they do this in dating, right? If men and women have got anxiety because they have such anxiety. So then they've got now date coaches, right? So the coach comes with you and says, the coach comes with you, Lizanne, don't be so shocked. It's a bit too cold for you guys to date up where you are, but they do that in the Southern Hemisphere, right? So the guy wants to talk to the girl, right? And they're like, "Oh, but I'm so scared. What will she think?" Right? So then the coach comes with you and say, just say hi to her, ask her how she's doing. And the guy's like, hi, you know, and she's like, hi, you know, and then it's like, she didn't bite my head off, or she didn't slap me or something like that. Go ahead, ask her how she's doing. How you doing? I'm fine. Oh, I can do more of this. Coach, I don't need you. Tell me, what's your name? You know, give me your phone number. It's all done, right? So that's what the coach does, is like get you to go, hey, jump in the lion's cage. There is no lion. And then you're like, oh, you know? So that's the, but we have this thing that's created so big, even grown men with PhDs and, nothing against PhDs, Maria. So they're like, oh no, I don't think I want to share with people that I'm on day 4 of the challenge. What will they think about me, right? And they're not being stupid, right? But if they go against them, you see, for women, it's very easy. For most women, it's easy. You guys are used to sharing. Men, like Abdullah and me, we're like, oh no. You asked why there's not many men on here? No, they're not above it. Come on, listen, be nice. It's not that they're above it. Their ego mind is so strong, right? They're so afraid of being judged, right? They actually have small egos. Whereas the woman doesn't get offended. I always say when the coaching, I'll say something and the woman would say, what is he saying? Whereas the man would say, who does he think he is telling me this? So they automatically attack, the ego attacks the ego and then looks at me, well, where's your qualification? How many NLP qualifications? Who said you've got the right? I know a guy with PhD and he said, I had no problem. So who the hell are you? Whereas a woman would say, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, this is a good point. I don't agree with that, but I agree with this. They don't look at the person. That's why, let me tell you something. Why do we have titles? Because of men. Women don't need titles. Women would say, I clean the floor, I make coffee, and I do the company's annual statements. Oh, so you're the CFO. No, I'm not a CFO. So for men, we're to PhD. Albert Einstein said. Then the man goes, oh, Albert Einstein said it must be true. You can say the most profound things. If some woman from the Congo Valley said it, they'd be like, oh, but who's she anyway, right? Whereas a woman would say, what did she say? What did she say? Yeah, but it's a woman from Congo. So what? So that's why for the male dominant, and I'm not, it's in my own species, right? My own kind. So I can speak on their behalf as well. But then you don't need the titles, right? And that's why on LinkedIn, you get like, the woman says that did you see how many titles I've got? Like 4-letter acronyms filling the whole page up. I'm a CCNA, MCPD, whatever. There's no human being. There's just titles. Why? Because men and now society and women by nature will also say, I've also got a PhD. So then you can listen to me, right? And these titles are all because we need to know who's saying it, right? There's an expression that says, it's not what you say that matters, it's who you know, right? So if you knew that Albert Einstein said it, then you're more popular, right? So it's no longer about the wisdom, it's about who said it. Anybody agree? You don't have to. All right, guys, we got a bit late to start with, but I'd like us to do a few minutes of silence, unless you guys all have to rush off to, whatever you need to do. We can just sit together. Got my bells for 2 minutes, and just to be together, sharing the group energy and you can turn your men only trust a trusted source. Yeah, but they're wrongly interpreting that trusted source. You can turn your camera off or keep it on. We're going to tune into our breath just for 2 minutes and all this noise out there, and be calm and centered. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Take a deep breath out and let it all out of your body. Release your body. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Be aware of all the tension you're holding in your body and all the thoughts in your mind, and on the exhale, release it all. Last one, deep inhale. Bring into your awareness any part of your body that you're holding tension in, any part of your thoughts, in your emotional content that you just have to let go of because you deserve peace. And on the out breath, exhale it all. Another deep breath in. Gentle out breath. Close your mouth. Begin to take in and out breath through your nose. Become aware of your nostrils, being the connecting point from the outside world to the inside world. The in-breath, you're bringing the outside world to the nostril, to the inside of your world. Take the in-breath that's on the inside of your world, get ready to exhale it through your nose to the outside of the world. In-breath. Out-breath. Last one, in-breath. Out-breath. Become aware of the center of your chest where your heart is located. Your heart center. Tune into this. The more you get to know this center, the more you recognize that it's just not an organ that pumps blood around your body, but the very center of your being, your heart, this center, not the organ, this center is your intuition, it's your memory, it's your knowledge, it's your connection to the divine, it's your connection to the past and the future, to this moment. Tune into your heart. From your heart, tune into this moment. Become aware of your engagement with this moment. What is your relationship to this moment? Are you hostile to it? Are you friendly to it? Are you welcoming it? Are you resisting it? Are you saying no to it? Are you saying yes to this moment? Non-resistance. Yes to this moment. Allowing this moment to be as it is. Engaging with this moment in its full awareness, giving this moment all of your attention without lacking anything. This moment is the eternal, generous, present moment. This moment goes on until eternity. Even the future can only happen now. It's always now. And it's the next now. And it's another now. And though time seems to be passing, they're only nows. And it's now. And it's now. And it's now. There is no future. There is now. Tune into the sound of the bell. Resonates with the frequency of your heart. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Return to the stillness in your heart. Become aware of your body's energy field. Wait for the sound of the bell. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Return to the stillness in your heart and to your body's energy field. Wait for the last bell. Become aware of the stillness. Become deeply aware of the stillness of this moment, of the thoughts, of the feelings, of the images, of the sounds, of the sights of this moment. This moment and this moment alone. Become intensely aware of this moment. This is the only place life is lived, right here, right now. Be in this moment fully. Drink it all in, take it all in, this moment, and all its aliveness and all its splendor. Take a deep breath in. Inhale this moment. And exhale this moment. And when you're ready, you can take a deep breath in and then take a deep breath out and open your eyes. Thank you all for coming. Hope you benefited from it. Thank you all for being so spectacular, so amazing. And I'm so glad that it's benefiting so many of you as it is for me. Yeah. See you guys on the group. Have a wonderful week. Or I should say, have a wonderful moment. Because that's all there is. Many moments. And stay in the state of stillness. You don't have to rush off anywhere. There's only this moment. And ask yourself this question. What is my relationship to this moment? And if it's not the way you want it to be, change it in this moment. No other time. This moment. All right, guys. Take care. See you all in the next call.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks, Rishad.
Welcome.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank Rishad. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.